Simon, can you do it?
Yeah. So this is the second Paifu review session for the game we played last Wednesday. Uh, we covered up to South 1 last week, so we're starting at South 1-1 this week.
What's the format?
Oh, yeah. It's a Psycho East format, assuming playing in a longer running league. Um, So 30-10 Uma, no Oka, no Akas. Uh that's pretty much it.
Okay, we can go ahead and get started then. All right, it's now South 1-1. I believe this is you, Luce.
Yeah. So I guess the first turn you can go to is turn 6.
Give me one sec.
You have to go to Luce's hand.
Oh, right. Oh my god, why is this not? All right. Mm-hmm.
Uh, maybe it's not turn 6. Maybe it's turn 7. Yeah. So mm, I need to look at my notes because the turn that I put here aren't right. Uh, so yeah, I play East here. I do not know what the theory says, but I assumed it was the safest tile. Um, is there any reason not to think that way?
What do the other players think?
I
So Simon and
mean,
Nima. Yeah.
uh, like what else would even be safer at this point? It's yeah, it's the Dora. And it's kind of scary to throw, but it is the tile with the lowest deal in rate.
Mm-hmm. Nothing
I
hints specifically to like a donkey or travel. I mean,
mhm.
all right.
Yeah, I
With
mean, especially with a hand like this where you're like good shape, the Enchanten, like it feels totally fine to just throw the tone, even though if it deals in, it'll be expensive. But it's like, the chance it deals in is not that high, so might as well keep the good hand shape together.
so I think that on the next turn, um, here I said, uh, I think given the discards 6 pin and 6 so are safer to discard than 3 pin and 3 so. Um,
What makes you say that?
because of the 9 pins and 9 sos that are there.
Mm,
Whereas, you can't, and there's no sign that it's a Liaomin way. So 3 can be 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5. Um, where the 6 can be 4, 5, 7, 8. Sorry, 4, 5, 5, 7, but not 7, 8. So I spent a lot of time thinking here, and I played 3-pin because I wanted to get Sanshoku, 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku.
Fair enough.
And I didn't play 6 Mon because either the 3-pin, 6-pin, 3 so 6 so were still a little safer than the 6 Mon, and with the 4, 5, what is it? It's 3, 4, 5, 6, is it?
You mean 4, 5, 6? Sancho?
Yeah, I was worried that it was possible to draw into a free 10, but I don't think that was actually possible.
Oh, you mean because of your 9 being cut?
Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't be Footy 10.
yeah, that's not actually possible. But anyway, so I'll ignore that for now. I discarded 3-pin because either 3-pin or 3, 6-pin or 3, 6 though was slightly safer than 6 Mon.
But it does, like, you do get the Sanshogu chance, but it does make the shape much weaker. And like
Yeah.
you're not even guaranteed to get Sanshoku out of this.
Yeah, I thought it was 4, 5, 6, 7, not 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's why I cut 3-pin. I didn't realize at all that it's the same thing I did last week. I should have spent more time, but I instinctively didn't want to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't even think that cutting the 3-pin is anywhere near wrong. It's like totally fine. It's just, the important thing is knowing like what you're gaining and what you're giving up with each decision.
Yeah, and then the turns in my notes are completely wrong, so probably turn 11. No, turn 12. So I know I've played like a bunch of dangerous tiles already. 2-mon is my third like really dangerous tile that I'm playing. And I feel like by this point, unlike the last hand where I didn't really have to play tiles that were too dangerous, there's not a lot of deniability that I have a good hand or that I'm Tenpai with something pretty good. So I decided to reach it here. Wondering if anyone has any opinion whether the Richi makes winning harder. 7-mon is still Gambit's at this point despite being 3 out. And 4-mon is Nakatsuji.
Why don't we zoom back a little bit when you first hit Tenpai, and then talk about it from here?
Yeah, so I guess Brant brings up a good point is why Dama here?
It's still to increase win rate. the pair of 7-mon discards seems to be bailing. There might be a third 7-mon coming right out.
You mean fourth?
Well, third from that player.
Oh, third from this player. Okay.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of safe tiles, despite what I have and will immediately be discarding. So another 4-mon, so a 4-mon coming from someone's hand is also not out of the question.
Mhm.
Whereas a few turns later, so I don't reach it here,
Mhm.
and the next 2 tiles were also not too dangerous. Whereas by the 2-mon, one thing is with the 3-pin and 3-so, I have less deniability of Tenpai, and second, this time I'm fighting against Toyman. Last night I was fighting against Shimocha, and preventing Shimocha from winning at all costs.
You mean
Was-
in south 1-0?
Yeah, it was very important. Whereas this hand, it's a... If I lose this hand, if I lose this fight, it's Toyman winning. I don't think I'm gonna bail. So as long as I'm not obviously giving up a lot of I mean, even if I'm giving up a little win rate, I'm not losing too much by reaching against Toyman. Whereas I think I'm losing a bit more last hand, South 1-0, by reaching against Shimo, which was basically level on points with me.
I see.
I don't quite follow the logic. Why? Like, I get what you're saying, that you would prefer Shimocha doesn't gain points because they're your current rival, but like, if you deal into Toyman, you'll still probably go below Shimocha, right? Like, I don't know if it really tracks, or maybe I should say it shouldn't have as much emphasis. Like, it's a factor, but I don't think you should put that much into it.
I mean, it's all a factor. It's a very fine line when I reach on the 2-mon. I don't know whether the reach is the right decisions given my goals. But there are reasons, like I have pushed the 3-pin and 3-so already. Reasons like I'm fighting against Toyman rather than my direct rival.
Is it
And
worth mentioning or considering the fact that if you like just Damad, right, and you win on 7-mon, for example, then that would only be like Tampin versus, Reach Tampin obviously would double that. I'm not sure if the increase in win rate is worth the decrease in value or the trade-off in value. I'm not sure about that balance. Because to me it seems like the increase in value is more worth.
I mean, if you win it on the 4-mon, it's Tampin Sanshoku Kiriage Mangand.
Yeah, because there's 3 7-mons out, like that's just more likely. But
and that's Nakatsuki as well.
yeah, so I guess that's a factor. The number of 7-mons already discarded is a factor. I mean, it is a large factor. So yeah, I guess if you're thinking about it in that case, like, oh, well, 4 months Nakasuji might come out, then it makes sense to Dama. But if you're thinking again, like, oh, people might notice that I'm continuing to push, so they might start folding against me, then I may as well Richi. Is that sort of your line of thinking, Luce?
Yeah. Like if people think I'm Tenpai, then I just Richi. It's not gonna decrease my win rate. If people think I'm not Tenpai, um, then why aren't they getting rid of their 7-mon right now before I Richi?
That's a good question. What if it's just in the wall and they can't?
And I think even at this point, I don't know if anyone would be willing to try to get rid of a 4-mon before I Richi. It's not that safe.
It's one of the safer tiles, though.
Yeah, but Shimo only discarded Genbutsu. Like if I can't tell if they think that I'm Senpai and just discarded all of their Genbutsu, or if they do have more Genbutsu for me. And so even if they have a 4-mon in their hands that they kind of want to get rid of before I Richi, they don't have to. Like I don't know what's going on, and I don't really want to judge like how many 4-mons are there remaining on the wall. I'm just thinking, if I can get a 7-mon from this point, if I can get a 7-mon next turn, next 2 turns, it's worth quite a lot because people aren't. If there's a 7-mon in people's hands, then my win rate is a lot higher than if I reach it right now. Whereas a couple turns later, and a couple more pushes later, I don't feel like the chance that I'm gonna win with 7-mon very quickly to kill Toyman's hand is that high anymore. And so I gain more value by reaching and increasing the value of my hand, basically.
So let me ask you a question. When you see someone pushing against a Richi, how many tiles do they have to push before you think that they might be Tenpai?
I mean, might 1.
And you've pushed 3 at this point.
Yes, but even if someone pushes 3, you can still. It's not guaranteed Tenpai. There is no question that my win rate is higher by not declaring Richi, no matter how dangerous the tiles that I'm going to play are.
I don't think you can go that far and say there's no question.
We can
You-
agree to disagree, but this is something that I'm never gonna get convinced unless I have like really real statistics. But I don't think it's high enough to justify not reaching. Once Shimo discards multiple tiles to show that they might not have a 7-mon in their hand, and I have to push a third tile, the 2-mon.
This is the third tile, though, the 3-so. You push tone 3-pin 3-so.
Yeah.
I kind of want to bring up an interesting point.
If I was Shimocha and I had a 7-mon and a 3-pin in my hand, after I discarded the 3, so I would definitely play the 7-mon. That's my play style. You can't be sure that the dealer is Tenpai, but they're obviously pushing. It is just so much more devastating to not have a safe tile against the dealer Ricci. Hmm.
So if you think that Shimocha had maybe the last 7-mon, and if you didn't Ricci on this 3, so they might throw it, but they didn't throw it next turn, why not just Ricci right after that? Like, I can see the, okay, let me wait a turn and see maybe they were breaking a Bananco, like, who knows? But now that you see that wasn't the case, you're saying, like, from your playstyle, they should throw 7-mon instead of 3, so if they had 7-mon, but they didn't. So, in that case, since you don't think the win rate is comparatively that much higher to justify the drop in value, like you mentioned before, why not Ricci now?
Mainly because I don't know how they play. I just guess that with multiple turns of not playing the 7-mon, they're probably not playing the 7-mon. They probably don't have it or they're holding on to it. Same thing with me, with multiple turns of pushing. I might be judged to be Tenpai. As the turns pass, I gradually lose my credibility that I'm not Damaing and still one Shantin. I gradually lose the credibility that there's a chance that 3-pin and 3-so might just be some of my safest tiles. As for why not Ricci here? Because, in my opinion, that it's a gradual thing. At some point, it's more beneficial to Ricci. I don't think I've gotten there yet. I want multiple turns of someone discarding my Gambitsu instead of Toyman's, and multiple turns of and just another dangerous tile, so that I'm not like Ishanten playing a Hatsu or a one chance, seeing if my hand improves. Like,
And
there's
oh.
no. I don't think. There's a good. There's this turn you should Ricci that everyone's gonna agree on. I think it's like gradually. The later you go, the more likely you Ricci, and some people's gonna Ricci on the 3-so, some people's gonna Ricci here on the Hatsu, some people might not Ricci even after I have Ricci'd. I drew the line at the 2-mon, and I really want to know, like, what y'all would think. How does this evaluation change for you guys? Where do you draw the line, rather than being asked, why not Ricci here? Because I think I've given all my reasons for why not Ricci here.
Okay, I mean, the only reason I asked that follow-up question was because you mentioned if Shimocha has another 7-mon, they should throw it next, even if you Dama, and they didn't. So if they didn't, then but then you explained afterwards, you just that's your assumption, you don't know. But
Yeah, I don't
Brian,
know. Like, even if I give an example with my playstyle, if Shimocha has like a pair of 3-sos and a pair of 3-pins, then why not toss one of them just to give me a chance to bail and then throw the 7-mon?
and I believe Bryant had a point he wanted to bring up.
Uh, I kind of want to say like you could kind of think about someone could think about Kamicha's hand like this. Like this seems like slightly a Honitsu hand, right? And if they're just giving up completely and they had 7-mon, they would probably want to throw the 7-mon before the Jihais. So I'm saying you could kind of think this person doesn't have 7-mon on the left.
I think that's fair. Like they would have thrown it as soon as Toyman threw it.
Mm-hmm. Just something I wanted to point out. Sorry, Luce, can you just state your question one more time for people to answer? The line between...
Yeah, I'm mainly interested in where everyone would declare Ricci and what would be the deciding factor.
I mean, I think it's very hard to justify folding this hand at this point. So if I'm just gonna push everything, I'd probably just Ricci. I think the 7-mon consideration is valid, but at the point where the 3-so comes out, I mean, they probably don't have it, so probably just Ricci on the Hatsu. And I think so if I'm on the table and I cut 3 dangerous tiles, one of them on the Ipatsu turn, like I would assume others would take note, and like on the third one, I mean, even on the second one, probably assume like pretty good chance for Tempai and be paying attention to me at that point.
Just one thing. I don't think she threw it on the Ipatsu turn. The 9-so was the Ipatsu
Oh,
discard.
never mind. Okay. But yeah. I mean, I think I personally would just Ricci here.
For me, how I would think about this is I think it's not so much a matter of 7-mon, but a matter of like 4-mon on when that's coming out. Because 4-mon's what kind of even allows you to Dama, right? For value. The increasing value is like so sharp that I think it's very relevant here. And given that this is like there's only NISO and then people don't have NISOs to throw anymore. People kind of don't have knife pins to throw anymore. Like 4-mons. And then people already threw most of their G-highs, right? It seems that way. It seems like 4-mon's like honestly one of the safest tiles to come out. Unless they want to throw your Genbutsu. I also think from other players' perspective, right? Like it's kind of hard to push with lesser value, and thus normally when you're pushing and you get a tempai, there will be like a reach coming in usually, right? So I don't think people think you're a tempai yet, even after a few cuts. They might think you were close, right? So they might even think, oh, let me get rid of the more dangerous tiles to prepare for your Ricci, and thus like 7-mon, 4-mon is gonna come out. That's how I would think about the situation.
So you
Oh, go ahead.
So Brian, just to conclude on your thought, you would just Damo till the end?
No, I would not. If I think people don't even have Formon to throw, and it's very high in the wall outreach. Like if I just think I have a good chance of drawing it, I would just reach. It only matters for these two players, right? Because dealer would have to just throw everything. Sorry, I mean the Ricci person would just have to throw everything. With two draw lines, your draw line and their draw line, if it's pretty good, I would just Ricci. Because even if I block them from dealing in, I can still Timo, and I can still run off this person.
Makes sense.
All right, so I think I'm in disagreement with Bryant because I think you have to consider the point situation. If this were a flat situation, sure. Like it's normal that, it's East 1, like your first dealer, you're gonna push a little bit because you have time to catch up later. But this is South 1, and you're very close to 4th. You don't have a large incentive to fight with Toyman because they're over 20k away from you.
I stand corrected, actually. I thought this was like East 1 for some reason because we just started.
Okay. So, continuing on with my reasoning, the fact that you're willing to throw multiple dangerous tiles against a Ricci, against a player who, if they win, it doesn't significantly increase your chance of like if they Tumo, I mean, it doesn't like significantly increase your chance of going down a placement. Whereas if you deal in, it very well might. The fact that you're willing to push this hard means you probably have a hand, and it even without the Dora, like it might be a hand that you're worth or that's worth dominating for some reason. It's hard to know because usually the reason is Dora in Akanashi. In this case, you just happen to have Tanpin Sanshoku. But it could have been like some other Yaku, like you could have had like Confirm Itsu or something, or like who knows. It's just not really easy to tell. But the fact that you're willing to push so hard against a player who you don't really have to fight against, that you have less incentive to fight against, means you're more likely to be Tempai, in my opinion. And so I can see the let's wait a turn, maybe Shimocha cuts 7 mon out of an Anko, or maybe they don't have anything and they can cut 4 mon next because it's Nakasuji. But then after that, I don't think it's really gonna come out, especially since you also made many more safe tiles for the other players. Your 3-pin makes 6-pin Nakasuji as well, and same with the 3-so making 6-so Nakasuji. So I don't think the other players are gonna be as troubled for safe tiles as Bryant might have implied.
I meant, oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I would see waiting 1 turn, maybe 2, but after that, you like even on the 8 mon, I'd probably just Ricci.
Is there anything more?
I think it sounds like everyone covered all the points. What do you think, Luce, after hearing everything that everyone said?
Yeah. Educational.
Food for thought.
I guess. Oh, sorry. I guess like one other thing is you should consider like the level of the players at the table, because you other players might just assume you're no 10 unless you Ricci, and they might not actually pay attention to your discards until that point. In which case, staying Dama definitely has a higher win rate. But if you're playing with players who are paying close attention, it's not going to be as easy.
Yeah, but ultimately, until I reach you, the chance that I'm Tempai is never going to be 100%.
I mean, yes, that's true.
And Honestly, I probably just need more experience, more training to be able to think that much in a real game. Like, I just remembered one of the driving factors for the Ricci, which is like these are the kind of things that go on when you're in a real game as opposed to analyzing analyzing it properly. So like what you hate, or I guess what I hate, is Oikake Ricci as the dealer, my hand is more dangerous than Toyman's. So people who run out of safe tiles are gonna discard my Genbutsu, like Tumon, and then that ends up dealing into Toyman, and I'm like, and drawing the Tumon is like, okay, that can't happen anymore.
That's a good point off.
Yeah, it's a good point in general, but like you kind of alluded to, Luce, the Tumon's really the only tile where that could happen because you've pushed everything after that. But yeah, that is a good thing to think about.
So I mean, it's a reason. It's a valid reason. It's just not really a like analytical or digital. It's like there's a Tumon. It's the Tumon. Um, it I can reach it because I feel like it now. Maybe I should spend time analyzing how much difference in win rate that brings. But of course, I wasn't thinking of that when I reached.
I wanted to touch on one of the points you brought up, which is, having enough time to think about these things during the game. Especially when it comes to the point situation. That's something you can check before the Kyoku even starts. Like at the end of the last Kyoku, the score screen is up. Uh, Even on a normal ranked game, you have like 10 seconds to double check the score and evaluate like how you might want to approach the next Kyoku based on the scores going in. So considering like how other players might react based on the score situation is something you can do outside of your normal timer. So it might be a good habit to get used to doing that sort of thing.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions for this hand? Guess not.
Nope.
Going to the next player.
All right. So
Wait. This is
this is
Crow?
Crow. Yeah.
Oh,
So
sorry.
Crow couldn't make it tonight. So what are we gonna? Are we gonna still discuss her hands or what?
Well,
We don't have to. We'll see
uh,
her at PML, and we can talk about it there if we want to.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Next player.
Our next player.
I mean, this was just looking at it from the other side. This was a quick Ricci, so I assume the only decision is the Ricci turn.
Ricci. I think I thought about this for a little bit. I didn't think. I mean, looking at it after, I think Dama's not unjustifiable. Because there are a few upgrades here. But I think at the time I thought 3-mon looked okay. I didn't think Toyman or Kamicha had a ton of them. but I don't know if that's. It wasn't a super strong reason. I don't think. I just wanted to move the dealership along. I think.
Do you think that they are the Toyman and Kangcha is pretty fast, given that they are? Do you think they're going to be fast?
I don't think Kamicho's super fast. Toyman maybe a little faster. But
Okay.
not I didn't think they were super fast either.
Are you afraid of people with tones chasing you?
Mm. Yes. I should be. Should I be? I think I should be.
I think you should be. However, it's entirely possible that each other player just has one and it's shackling their hand and then they can't push back as much as they want.
So, like from base rate, right? I'd say the chance that they are a little more split up is actually higher than normal because of Yoshimocha.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh, okay. That's all I have to add.
Why? What's the read on Shimocha in terms of like the Dora? I guess is it because it could be a pair, right?
But if it's a pair already, like they're unlikely to give up good tiles. They'll play you straight.
Yeah, I know we discussed
Okay.
in a separate Paifu review, right? Like, if someone has a pair of G Hydora, especially Yaku Hydora, they're just going to play it straight because, they have the value. They don't need to make Yaku. And if it's Otakaze like it is in this case, it's like maybe a little bit more likely that they'll still look for Yaku so they can open. But it's not, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. It's more of like, if they're close enough to Honitsu already, for instance, then it just makes it easier to win the hand. But giving up, they cut a Kanchan and then a floating 7, it's like, um, would they go so far? If they had a pair of Dora, like it's less likely than normal that they
Right.
have a pair
Okay.
of Dora, I think. Which is the point,
So
yeah, Brian was
so
getting
like they probably actually only have one if this is the case.
at. Could also be 0, but yeah.
0. Okay.
It's just less likely to be slowing down your hand if you have multiple Dora, right?
Yeah.
That being said, I think the Ricci is like pretty normal. It's like on the borderline of normal, but there are quite a few tiles that you can upgrade with. So I can definitely see the Dama, and I probably would choose to
What
Dama.
tile? What tiles can you upgrade with?
Yeah, Simon.
2-mon, 4-mon, 7-mon, 7 so 6-pin.
That's a lot of tiles.
It's a few tiles.
All right. And a lot of them give you one Yaku. I mean, one Han.
Yep.
And one of them gives you 2 Han. Maybe it's waitable then.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Probably not, because you
Probably
retreat.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other people have inputs? or questions? All right. If not, I'm gonna go to the next person.
I don't have any questions, but I'm going to be away for 2 minutes to go pick up my dinner.
Oh, okay. Are we pausing or?
Uh,
Small break?
we can take
Bathroom
a
break?
small break.
Sure, I guess. Probably one so.
Oh, why? 2 chance?
Toyman was not going for Pinzu, which means it's lower chance that they have tiles that can block off the one pin. So one so is probably a little safer.
Mm.
Wait, sorry, say that again?
Toyman started by cutting Pinzu, right?
Yeah.
And if you think they might be going for Honitsu, that means they have less Pinzu, which can block off and make the one pin safer. Like if they were going for Sozu Honitsu, they might have another 3 so in there and make your one so safer.
Yeah, if they're Sozu. I think
Yeah.
if Sozu, they're safer.
But yeah, because they're not Pinzu. So you don't know if they're Monzu or Sozu, but like they're just not Pinzu. Are we still waiting or what?
I think we're still waiting.
Okay.
You waiting for me? I just got
We
back.
didn't know you were back.
I got back 20 seconds ago, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Time to go to the next round.
Oh,
you didn't-
Aaron, you can
didn't-
can
you
you
didn't-
start the recording?
Yep. The
You
recording
didn't
is
want to.
resumed.
You didn't want to talk about my hand.
Oh.
There wasn't
Forgot.
much to talk about.
Ah, my God. Why is this not opening?
Gotta get a better computer.
True.
But yeah, my hand was just really bad. So this was maybe Chanta, maybe Honitsu, who knows? Mostly just let me hold all my G high and fold with them when someone reaches. The reachy just came earlier than expected.
Any particular turn?
No, I mean this was just like and it just played for the maybe Honitsu and then this happened, so I just folded.
I see. All right. The next one.
All right, we were starting from dealer. Okay.
Yeah. Luce turns.
And see, I don't remember that much, so I have something on turn 6. What did I? What did I play? Can you press it and see what I played?
More or
I think mainly with this hand, it didn't seem like a great hand. Actually, I still don't know what my notes mean. The approach is to just try to stay safe. Let's go to turn 10, actually.
this one?
Yeah, sure. I think right. I think I didn't want to discard 5-mon anymore.
Because it's getting too late, too dangerous.
Yeah, like I was thinking I could probably still discard it here, but I can't really discard it with the rest of my hand. And so in a turn or two, I'm not discarding it.
So you're just locking that block in.
Yeah, so I locked it
Okay.
in. I was wondering that maybe I should have said maybe I should have thought about it a turn ago with the west, since that's a really safe tile. If it's going to be 1 or 2 turns later that I'm not going to discard the 5-mon, then maybe I should keep the west to be safe because it still doesn't really look like that I'm winning this hand.
Thoughts, people?
And in
Simon?
reaction, yeah, in
Oh,
reaction
sorry.
to my Haku, all you see is like the Shimocha who was cutting good tiles is now cutting in the 9, so Toyman is doing this 8-mon, 7-mon thing. Kamicha breaking up pairs.
Their hand advanced.
Okay.
Anyway, getting back to the point at hand. I don't know if it's a good way of thinking to be like, I'm just never gonna throw the Dora past a certain point because usually if people like if you're afraid of it dealing in, they're probably just gonna reach you, right? Like why Dama? So it's really only the like lesser or the less common cases where they have multiple Dora and either they're waiting on it or they want to call it. But does it look like, especially Shimocha, does it look like they have multiple Dora? Their cuts are kind of too weird for that.
It's hard to judge whether they have multiple Dora because you might have multiple Dora and try to just build a hand to Richie. You might have multiple Dora and that allows you to do weird stuff with their hand. I don't want to judge whether someone has multiple Dora, especially someone I'm not familiar with.
So in that case, not wanting to cut the Dora is more of just wanting to avoid the worst case scenario then.
Yeah.
I know you don't know Shimocha, but what would you say if that was Anthony playing?
Anthony? I don't know Anthony enough.
What about Patrick?
No, I don't know Patrick enough.
Oh, okay, I guess not then. I don't know who else you know.
I mean, I was gonna say next, if you're trying to avoid the worst case scenario, then why even pull in the first Haku? Because your hand shape was still not that great. This was on the 6th turn, I believe. Keep going. Here. Like, obviously, it's too early to determine like whether or not you have a chance of winning, because it's not like this hand is awful, but it's not particularly good either. So if you're mainly worried about avoiding that disaster scenario, then why even call this tile?
I have a question for you on this turn later.
There's still a good chance of winning. Like all I have to do is to draw a 6 hit and like let's see. What is this? How many Shanten is it? It's 2 Shanten, right? Now Shanten. Yeah. So just getting a hand, winning 2,000, 3,000 points is still pretty
Value.
good. A few turns later, my hand has not progressed. And other people's hand probably have progressed.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I guess from like during the call, you are seeing your 2 Shanten, but did you consider the other potentials, like essentially what happened where your hand doesn't progress?
Oh yeah, it's pretty easy to just keep the hand 2 Shanten and get a couple of safe tiles. I already have the 8-9, which is safe for 2 players. And at least have the 1-so for Kamicha, and I mean this is just a call, a normal call. Like I don't see a reason to play extra safe just yet. But if my hand doesn't progress in a couple turns, then probably want to add a couple more safe tiles. But that should happen fairly naturally anyway.
Why do you say that?
I mean, I have 2 safe tiles for Toyman and Shimocha, and 1 safe tile for Kamicha. And if we can get to a couple of turns later, then I'll have like 1.5 if you count that 2 mod. If my hand doesn't progress, then it's the only thing I cannot say about safe tiles, about getting another safe tile, is that I will certainly get another safe tile. But I think everything else, there's so many ways to just get more safe tiles. I mean, this is just playing normally. I didn't see too big of a reason to not play normally. And since I have some safe tiles anyway, I felt like I could afford to do that, despite being first. Still, winning the hand is the best way to kill someone else's hand.
All right, so at this point, it was just playing normally.
Yeah.
Did anyone else have something to say?
Would anyone cut Tumon here?
I would. I was gonna mention that next.
I probably would.
Would you now, Luce?
Mm. It's a good tile to cut. Like,
Okay.
if this was my log and I cut 2 on here, I wouldn't be surprised. I was saying, okay, if I draw 3 mon, then whatever, 7 pin, 5 pin, 7 pin, 5 mon, the next 2 turns. Mm.
So you were okay with cutting 5 mon like next turn, for instance?
I mean, yeah, I was okay with cutting 5 mon for at least a few more turns. It was just like my hand wasn't progressing. Other people's hands were progressing. At that point, I wasn't willing to cut 5 mon. Not because it's turn 10, no Dora cut anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I actually didn't say this before, so it's not again. I kind of play for comfort above playing optimally. So I don't mentally prefer a 2-han hand over a 1-han hand. For me, 2-han and 1-han hands are the same. Unless I can make it a 3-han hand, then I don't really pay attention to, oh, I played the Dora 5 mon from a 2-3-5.
I mean that
Go ahead.
that's definitely like a good way to think about it because the difference between 1 and 2 Han is like so small. But go on.
Yeah, like I put 7 pin first and then 5 mon, despite 5 mon being more dangerous, just so I don't draw it the next turn or 4 mon, but yeah, pretty much. I'm going for a 1-han hand there, and if I can use the Dora, then it's a 1-han hand plus a Dora. But unless I draw another Dora, a 1-han hand plus a Dora is still a 1-han hand based on my playstyle.
I mean, there's another point of keeping the 9 mon over the 2 mon, though. It's that the 9 mon's pretty safe because you can see all of the 8 mon, and if you pair it up, it becomes a good tile for you to be able to call if you need to.
Yeah. It was a little weird, but it's probably safer than 2 mon.
Yeah,
I think so.
I would definitely say so.
Again, this is just playing normally. I wasn't too worried yet.
I think even normally, just from the perspective of just progressing your hand, I would still just cut Tumon. I mean, you will miss out on that element, which is fine, but it's like not a hard miss because I mean, at least you are guaranteed a conjunct with the Dora, and I mean, you might want to shift your blocks around a little bit.
Yeah, finishing like a sequence in Upper Monzu, because you can't finish the pair of 8 mon because it's dead. But if you get the 7 mon, then you could look for a pair somewhere else, and that increases the flexibility of the hand.
All right. I think is there something later on in this hand?
I don't
Why
have
is
something
my
later
thing so
on. I think
stuck?
someone reaches and then I'd bail.
I'm sorry.
And I don't have anything I need to ask there.
Okay. Man, why is my thing so stuck? Let me go to the next player then.
This is Crow's hand.
Oh, skipping. Oh my.
Do you not have a real mouse, man?
No, I do have a mouse, but I don't know why the client's not cooperating today.
Try using /3 maybe.
I will soon. TM.
All right. Turn 3.
Oh, look at this free looking hand.
Oh my god. Misclick. I mean, even my actual choice, I don't think. I was trying to click Amon. I clicked one pin.
They're next to each other.
They're next to each other. But I don't even know if that. I probably should just cut 5 mon third Dora back. I think.
Why not cut 7 mon?
7 mon. Yeah, that's an option. I already have 2 other pairs. I like it.
I feel like it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, because I already have enough blocks. I don't need. I can get best of both worlds, I guess.
All right.
Cool. Okay,
Uh,
and then I think the next one is turn 10.
you see how it's not highlighting on my mouth.
No, it highlights
It-
for us.
it
We
is
just don't
highlighting.
see your
Oh,
first-
just my okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I should not have recheed
Why not?
because I think I can go back.
Oh,
Like my weight here is like really just 5 mon or 5 so. But it's also quite improvable on the Pinzu. And I think I can cut 7 so and essentially still keep 5 so acceptance.
yeah. I mean, I see it. Not sure if I like it, but I see it.
I mean, I have 3 4 so's, but I don't know how good it actually is.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a Conchon and you had Ricci Tanya Dora 1 with a con on the board,
I'd go
would
for
you?
it.
Yeah, you'd normally go for it, right?
Yeah.
So like this is just the normal,
It's
like
the same.
yeah, it's like a normal Conchon Ricci, even though it's the unmen shape.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's hard to pass 52, man.
It is.
There's Urus.
You could get lots of Urus. Could get Ura 6.
I could. Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not for my hand.
All right.
And my
Nima.
hand was a little more interesting. Turn 6. So Luce called the Haku, and I'm her Kamicha, so my hand is, as you can see, not super great. And I didn't want to I didn't really want to feed. Like I don't want the dealer first place to get even further away. But I did have tiles built into my hand that were safe against the other players. So I wasn't super concerned about holding safe tiles because normally when you Shibori, you're cutting your safe tiles in advance and kind of have to hope that you just have enough by the end. But in this case, I felt like I had enough, so I just played more normal and cut the pay. And then on turn 8, So here, I actually went back Shanten by cutting the one pin pair. This was partially Shibori and partially if I get a Yaku, I might have a shot of winning this hand. Anyone have opinions?
What's your? See, I don't know how much you're willing to shibori.
What do you mean?
Like once you cut the one pins, like how committed are you to? How hard are you gonna shibori?
It's honestly a turn by turn thing.
Depends on your hand.
Yeah. The thing is like I'm pretty confident I can read open hands well, so I don't have to worry too much about um like dealing in to the dealer. Like if my hand becomes good, then I'm just gonna push. But if it doesn't become good, then it's just kind of like hopefully Toyman will win a small hand or something. I don't know. Like it's really just I don't want the dealer to wrench on unless it's small, but I'm not gonna take any huge risk with this hand in this current shape.
I think I'll just cut too. So to be honest,
I think that feels like it's overdoing it a little bit.
eh.
Like you don't like Tanya?
I don't. I mean, I'd be going back Charlton and giving up some safe tiles.
Safe tiles against everyone or Kamicha, you mean?
Kamisha, and I think it's safe enough for the other people.
Oh yeah, that's why I was able to cut it now to
Yeah.
partially Shibori. But I wasn't really worried about the safe tiles for the other players because I still had like 2 mon 7 so for Kamicha, and I had like for instance, I think like Pinzu just passes against Toyman, and 3 so is probably also fine.
Hmm.
Like if I can win this hand, that's great, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it closed. So like I can cut the pair of one pin to Shibori and also maybe get a Yaku out of this.
Doesn't your scenario of like having safe tiles for other players not cover when two people are tenpai?
If 2 people are tenpai, then I can kind of figure it out as I go. I know it's a very wishy-washy answer, but if we get to the point where 2 players are tenpai, it's very likely they're going to be making safe tiles for me.
The very fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I'm not worried about trying to find safe tiles in a dangerous position.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, I can really see one pin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I had one more note for turn 10. So Kamicha Richi'd, not willing to throw anything super dangerous with a hand in the shape. So I cut Gembutsu to start. Um, I was a little worried about maybe 8 pin Kanchan, or not Kanchan, sorry, 8 pin Shampon because of the 6 pin Richi.
Okay.
So I mean, you can see Kamicha cuts 5 pin on this turn. Go ahead and advance. And I call, but I'm not willing to cut the 8 pin quite yet.
Okay.
This was a very. Do you want to advance it one step? This is like a very non-committal call, and if I get lucky and I maybe get the 4-so, I can push and then potentially win the hand and just end it right here. But my Monzu were pretty safe, so this was a call that only uses up one of my save tiles, and I have enough other save tiles, so I felt like I could maybe take this long shot at winning and still be okay to fold. Like if I don't get to tempai like immediately.
See, I feel like people might say your value is too low to do this.
That's definitely fair.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but also it looks a little crazy.
Oh, it definitely does. That's why I brought
Comes. Do you cheat that for Tenpai?
yeah.
Okay.
What if it's 8mon?
I don't think the 8mon could come, but
Could.
I mean it's pretty much the same. The difference between 1 and 2 Han is like nothing.
All right.
Okay. What was the next draw?
4 pin.
Okay, I see.
So then this was a fold with Manzu, like planned.
All right. Nothing else to see.
Yeah.
All right. Gonna go to South 2 unless people have questions.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh,
I
we're
think you just start with me.
yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't. Let me see. Turn 6.
Okay.
I think I cut the 6mon, but like, is it? Because I was choosing between 6mon and 3mon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a very, very, very like super far Sanshoku, right?
Well,
Oh, you're looking at Sanshoku
I
from this?
mean, but I mean, 3mon acceptance is probably better.
I feel like this is a clear 6mon cut.
Yeah.
Like I think looking for Sanshoku here is like not good at all.
Okay.
And like you said, the 3mon has better acceptance.
sorry, which Sanshoku? 567?
I know, right? Which Sanshoku?
I mean, yeah, it's not. Okay. And then I think turn 8. Or 9, I guess. Yeah, after I pull. I mean, I think this is relatively straightforward, but I chose the Shabo.
Draw what, the 5-so?
Draw 6-0.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, like the last one.
Yeah, just draw the last one.
Yeah, but
No.
like the benefit of taking the Conchon here, it's for like maybe immediate win rate, but it's not even really that high. And you can't switch it on the lower side because you'll lose Tanyao.
Yeah.
So I feel like is a clear 3-so cut.
I think that's it for me. I mean, I guess next turn. So Kamicha re-cheat. I cheat. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Shape improvement. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah, break Ipatsu as well as a bonus.
Yeah.
Because you would make this cheat regardless, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
Next player. All right. My only note was turn 6, but it was just that I was looking for Chitoy. So I don't think it's anything special. Because his hand shape's awful, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not really gonna want to keep around the
Dorsal.
like it's more of just like I don't really. Is this even turn 6?
No, you gotta go next turn.
It's
mean,
turn
there was a
6,
call.
you're not called, but okay, this makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to the next round.
What about Luce's hand?
I'm sorry. I thought we started with Luce.
I went back too far.
Luce.
Let's see, turn 8.
Before wait, turn 8 is when you cut. I had a question for turn 6 actually.
Okay.
Let's just go in order then. Turn 6.
It was after the call, so go ahead and advance.
Yeah, stop right there. Right here.
Uh huh.
I guess Tenho doesn't call his turn 8, but
Oh, this is your 8th discard. So this is what you were going to bring up anyway.
yeah.
Okay.
Um so this is I wanted to put pressure on people, basically. And why not just call the 7-1, discard the 6-so, and then 8-so? Be very safe, and then be 1-shot-10 for the Honitsu. I mean, the safety doesn't really matter that much. It's mainly the trying to get rid of the 6-so and 8-so. As long as it doesn't get called, I'm slowing people down. Putting pressure on people. And it's still a Yishanten. Basically, I call this here.
So your your point here is like whether or not to make the 7-mon call.
Hmm.
Because I mean,
I
go
think
ahead.
it can go either way, but like if any of you have dissenting opinions, I would listen.
I have an opinion already because I brought it up, but does anyone else want to go first?
Opinion on the call.
Yeah.
I would call it a cut Naiman because I don't mind just winning 2,000 here. I don't think Naiman serves Honitsu that well. It's not so much that I would give up an entire block for it. That's all.
Did you have an opinion, Simon?
I don't think I would call.
Why is that?
I mean, it doesn't really advance your hand. Uh, right, you're calling from Ishanten to Ishanten.
Right.
And also, I don't know if I really want to. Like, I don't think I would consider Hongitsu here. I guess is the first thing.
Well, what's
Not
your
to call
acceptance?
for it, right? Sorry, what you said?
Sorry, no, just continue.
Yeah, like I wouldn't call this 7-mon for Hongitsu. I mean, I think if I feel like I can pass 680 and get into Hongitsu safely, then I might consider it. But really, I think I kind of just want to move the rounds along and win as fast as I can without taking on too much risk.
I think calling and cutting 9-1 makes your hand a lot faster because now you also set 6 and 7 and 8.
It becomes Uncle Headless.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And probably want to check it out that way. Check out my hand that way.
That's right.
I think that it's too soft to be like, oh, let me just pass the rounds because it's still South 2 and you don't really have a lead. Like you're 2K above the second place in this position. It's like nothing.
Yeah, but if I draw Hongitsu, I will still get it.
Oh no, I was talking about Simon's point
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that he just wants to pass the rounds and like is looking for the safety and speed. So I would call the 7-mon and cut 8-so. I'm looking for both the Honitsu or pairing up the Dora because you have Yakuhai, and pairing up the Dora is the same value as open Honitsu anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm calling for value.
okay.
Cool.
I feel like if you call and then cut 6-so, like you're giving up on one of your value outs, and then you're also like not even that much safer. Like 8-so is only safe against one player. So might as well keep the chance to luckily pair it up, and then you have 52.
Yeah, probably agree with that.
Okay.
And then I'm not gonna say a turn. Then 2 turns later,
Stop me where I get there.
Is it here?
yeah. I mean, since after the Ricci, I'm still not Tenpai, and Toyman did call that 6-so, and has just pushed against the Ricci. I decide to just fail here. And also because if Toyman deals into Shimocha, that is really good for me. From this point on, I feel like I don't necessarily need to win this hand myself to get a good result. I don't think pushing helps that much. And also, I didn't get rid of the 8-so in time. It's still dangerous. I could play 9-mon, but I felt like I didn't have enough reason to push.
I feel like playing 9-mon is taking on risk for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, even if I play West, I still have 1 turn to get into Tenpai.
Oh yeah,
Right. Yeah. Definitely West here for me.
I agree.
Actually, West is better than 9-mon in terms of getting into Tenpai.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty similar. Like you obviously can't pair up the 7-mon, but you can still pair up 4-mon and 8-so for Tenpai if you keep all the Wests. but I still think you should cut the West. You should not be fighting for all the reasons you mentioned. Like you prefer
Yeah,
if Toyman deals into Shimocha.
and pretty much I don't have another note here. This is basically faux bail if I don't draw into Tenpai.
Mm-hmm.
You would cheat for it, right?
Would I?
I mean, it's something to consider.
Yeah, I mean, you said you'll bail if you don't get Tenpai. So, like, would you push if you got Tenpai?
Probably, yeah.
Both, all three cheat tiles.
All three? Yeah, all three.
Okay. This is it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next round. Who 3 dot? Let's do it. Simon.
Yeah. South 3. I don't have notes on this one.
Does other people have notes on Simon's
Yeah.
head?
Do other people have notes?
I do not.
Luce, you have notes on Simon's head?
No?
All right, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna.
think this hand progressed pretty on its own.
Okay. Nima.
All right. My first note is turn 5. So up until this point, I was looking at the 2-3-4 Sanshoku, but upon getting to this shape, you kind of have to give up on it. Like the tile acceptance is way too good to keep this Forso around.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's nothing crazy.
And then
And then the real note is on turn 14. Here, getting the Tenpai.
Mm-hmm.
Upper Sozu looked super good. 8-so, there's 2 left. But Kamicha cut it, and it's like, well, it's like fairly likely they're in the wall. But I thought that the 9-so was just better. And I took the weight with more tiles, so I cut 7-so to Ricci. There was 3 6-so cut already, but the 9-so were probably also left in the wall, and I could just get the last 6-so. Sumo on 9-so also makes the Fu go over, so it's not like I'm losing that much value anyway. So this was like a kind of a I don't even know if I want to say borderline. It's just kind of it could go either way, and I feel like they're both fine, like cutting Shaw or cutting 7-so. Like I guess you could even cut 8-so to Ricci, but would you really do that? I guess you could.
7-so doesn't look 7-so and 9-so does look pretty good.
Yeah, it now that I'm looking at it again, I'm like, probably would have been an option.
All right.
I know, right? Who does that? You cut your the on men for a shampoo?
Would you do it in retrospect?
Yeah, probably. The shampoo looks good, and then your Fu goes over regardless on sumo, and
Is
then
it
it
that the
also goes over on 9-so roam. Yeah, 8-so is probably just better.
Okay.
Wait, if 7-9-so are look good, don't like 6-9-so also look? Oh, I guess 6-so is kind of dead, but
Yeah, there's 3 6-so out.
Okay.
All right, that was it for me. I mean, this was a Ricci.
Back to Luce.
Yeah, this is more of a I don't really want to talk about it. And let's see, turn 7. Um, let's go to turn 8 and dial back 1.
Here?
Oh,
Let's see, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Um mainly because of the point situation. I didn't really want to just call for 1000. Not that I think that approach is problematic, but um I think I probably should have decided that whether I was going to do that. Um, if I didn't want the 1000, to stick with that, um, or to decide that I wanted to call and then start calling, because this is when I decided I didn't want to just call, and then it's horribly inconsistent with what happens next. Um,
Oh, I see.
What happens next?
I think
She,
on turn 10,
Oh,
on turn 10, I had the opportunity to call 7 mon and 5 mon, and not calling either of those pretty much is a like once I do that, then surely I shouldn't call anymore. Um,
yeah. If you don't call 5 months, really hard to call this. Justify calling this 4. So
yeah.
is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
This is the third one, though.
It. I mean, I already didn't call the 5. If I was gonna call it, probably should have
Oh.
called the 5 month.
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
So like, I don't know what my point is. I don't know because like I pretty much explained it all.
I see.
Yeah, I mean that it's good to like notice and then make note of it.
All right. Do we go to the next one? I think so, right?
yeah.
All right, so starting from me then, right?
Yes.
I have my first note on turn 4. So this drawing this form on, I can see the 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I thought it required too many specific draws. Like I need 5 mon, 5 pin, 6 so.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be better to keep all of my Pinzu together. Since I'm currently Anko headless, I'm not Ishanten yet, but Anko headless, it's better to keep like the clump of Pinzu tiles together because that makes it easier to complete blocks and make a pair if I need to.
Okay.
For instance, by keeping all of the Pinzu together, I can draw any Pinzu 2 through 8, and that advances my hand in a way that I'm like okay with. Whereas like if I cut 2 pin for instance, like I miss out on the Dora, um, and then 5 pin makes it like 5 pin would be fine, but then like 8 pin would be kind of like, ugh, what do I do with this? That sort of thing.
Okay.
Anyone have any thoughts?
If you want to keep your pinzus together, all of them.
Yeah, for now. Like I felt like keeping all the Pinzu together was uh more valuable to me than keeping the narrow chance of Sanshoku.
So you cut 1 mon.
No, what?
So you cut 5 so, 4 so.
Yeah, let me cut the Sanshoku from the down men.
What do you cut?
I mean, you can just advance 1 click.
Wow, Tadashi.
Hmm.
Why not? It's just I'm breaking up the Manzu anyway. Like, it's not impossible. I use the Formon, like, if I get a Diamond on that side, but it's like it's kind of whatever either way.
Why 6-mon over 4-mon?
I mean, it's like I said, it's not impossible that I could maybe make a Sanshoku on the lower side, but I was not looking very hard at it. Like, the 6-mon is just kind of impossible.
Okay.
I mean, it's a very, very slim reason. They're both gonna get cut. Why would you cut Formon instead?
No, I was wondering if you had a reason.
No, nothing, no strong reason. There's like no info on the board either.
Okay.
Okay, and next was turn 6. This was like the option to keep a safe tile, right?
Yeah.
But the Pinzu is messy, but it's the Onmen or the Onmen Kanchan. So if I cut 2 pin, I miss Tempai on 3 pin, so I cannot hold the Shah. Nothing special, but just thought I'd bring it up.
Okay.
And then turn 10. Now here. This allows me to take the much nicer 2-mon, 3-mon wait if I get to Tempai by finishing my Sozu first. So I thought it was worth cutting the 2 pin for this 2-mon. Just for the better final shape. Or the higher chance at better final shape. And like if I draw the 3 pin, it's like I miss, but it's more fixable still.
You okay?
I mean I could definitely just see wanting to keep the wider Ishanten though. Or not even necessarily. I mean it's technically like the same acceptance, but keep the one that doesn't immediately miss the Dora. But I did want this option because if I had to choose between like 5-8 pin and 2-3 mon, I definitely choose 2-3 mon. That's it.
Yeah. Isn't it kind of unlikely you're waiting on 3-mon?
I know, right?
This need to be elaborated, or
Oh, because I cut 6 mon.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's. Do you have the Tadashis turned on?
Oh no, I think it got lost
There we go.
after. Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty unlikely to be waiting on 3 mon after these cuts.
Man.
What?
Okay. Go to the next player. Luce. Phil is in.
Okay, turn 3.
I'm just gonna click
Wow.
here.
So yeah, this hand, it's just so bad that I want to just either make the shape a lot better or get a Yaku highs. I cut 6 so here. Because 560 is the only downman here. If I win this hand as a like normal Ricci, I'm probably not using 6-0 as my head. That said, on the other hand, I have the 4 honor tiles. I just cut one of them. It's still, my hand is still safe. I don't really need to worry about defending. So
See, my take on this is that like I don't really think of 6-0 cutting out of my pair. I think of it as like cutting a good floater here.
mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
And I don't know. I think having 3 is good enough.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. Okay, then on turn 6. So I'm going for first, is what I'm thinking with this hand. I want to go for first, right? So regardless of whether Pinfu is included in this hand or not, Richitsumo plus Ura, isn't enough. Wait, is this turns? Did I cut 6 pin here?
You did.
Okay. Maybe not great. Oh yeah, I think that's what I was doing.
Forcing in value with
Because
Dora.
Pinfu is going. I'm going for first, which is questionable as a motive, but Pinfu is completely useless in getting to a Mangan. So I got 6 in here, thinking that if I draw one of the Jihai, I have the Dora weight. And if I draw the Dora, I can Tanki on one of the Jihai, or maybe get a better weight somewhere. But I wasn't interested in improving drawing next to the 6 pin, cutting the 1-2 pin. Yeah, that doesn't help me get to 8,000. Get to a Mangan symbol.
It's hard for me to say because I would take second just here. So I would just cut Jihai.
I would take second.
The same.
It's boring if you have to take second when you could go for first. I don't
Even
know.
with the way this is happening, right? Is this how do you get 8,000 here?
Reach Sumodora Ura.
Yeah, hoping for
Yes.
1 Ura is pretty normal. Like,
Okay.
especially with Pinfu shape. Like, it's not Pinfu, but it's Pinfu shape. There's a 30% chance that you get Ura. So it's not a bad bet.
I see.
Fair enough. If you need to win first here, right, then I guess this is okay.
Yeah, nothing else. Though I'd like to mention this hand is just completely bullshit. Like, compare 3 turns ago to this.
Oh yeah. Just
Just fill in 2 Conchons.
back to back. Nice.
But anyway,
Were you looking at any other potential ways to add value?
I see where this question is going.
not really. Like,
If you draw 2 mon or 6 mon here, would you keep it?
Why not 1 mon?
well,
Like,
yeah,
well, like it's
obviously.
obvious that you will keep.
I mean, drawing 2 mon or 6 mon helps even the Richitsumo Dorura hand.
Right, exactly. 6-mon as well.
So of course I keep it. I don't think
But by
I
that,
need to look for anything though. Like if I draw 1/2 6-mon, it's
it's just natural. So
very
you're not.
natural.
So you wouldn't say you're looking. Oh yeah, I mean,
It's
but
I
as
think
long as that's in your
it's
mind,
pretty
yeah.
normal. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9-mon. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9-mon. 1, 2 pin. 1, 2, 4 pin. 4, 5, 7, 8. So
I mean,
Yeah.
I like Bryant was getting at. It's the Itsu chance here. Like you might make Itsu and Monzu, and then your Pinzu becomes your pair, for instance.
yeah, but you don't need to play differently for that.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't.
One other thing. Keeping the 6-pin also could allow you to get more value from Tanyo. Like if you stick something to 6-pin, maybe you get a 6-mon to shift down your Monzu, and then 2-pin becomes your pair or something, or maybe something you pick up along the way becomes your pair. Then you have that option instead, so you don't have to rely on the Dora. Not as much anyway.
Yeah, it's a
It,
bit far though.
yeah, but I mean, keeping the 6-pin doesn't really lose you anything.
Let's see. So I need the 6-mon. And I need the 9-mon to make sure I have the Itsu chance. Then I have to draw next to the 6-pin.
This would be if you draw next to the 6-pin first. It's the same line of thinking as you can keep this.
It's the
Like,
same. It's
yeah,
the
like
same.
you would keep 1-mon, 2-mon, 6-mon, and not have to really change anything because you have that space in your hand. So even if you're going for first, I think keeping the 6-pin has a merit.
Mhm.
Anything else? If
I don't
not,
have
I'm gonna
anything
go to
else.
the next player.
Next
Player's
one.
not there. Next player. What turn?
Turn 2. I wanted to force. I wanted to force Tanyo here.
Okay.
I felt I really needed to call this hand to be able to complete it. It's, I have enough pairs that I can call, and also a lot of conchons. Like I feel like this hand shape, I just would call everything that I can call.
So
So I chose to cut 7. So, because
here's, but isn't the amount of 6-0 and 4-mon the same?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Are you saying you're gonna cut 7 so 8-0 is easier to call later?
I think I thought about it, but I don't know if that's enough here. I can probably, 3-mon. It's probably okay.
Yeah, like if you magically fill in your like 2 of your conchons first, or like Anko up your 5-mon 2, so whatever. If you get to Tempai with the 7 so left over, you'd want the Yanmen, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's fair.
Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, Nima. Wait, no, we did Nima already.
Yeah, next hand.
next end.
All right. Before the Kyoku even started, now that I had gotten into second place, since this is still kind of a precarious situation,
Hmm.
I'm okay with just having second place at the end of this Hanshan. Before, like, I had no reason to fold against anything because like I'm in third, I'm not gonna drop placement. Let's just go. But now I have something to lose. So um looking at the point spread and then once I get this high pie, I'm like, I don't know if I can expect to win this one. So I was very okay with just getting second.
Okay.
So first turn is turn 6. And this isn't even anything to do with my hand, but Simon calling 3-so, Kamicha calling 3-so, when the door has one pin like this.
Hmm.
This is very, I guess, helpful for me. For if my objective is just keeping second place, then I can pretty much ignore Kamicha. Like if I deal into them, it's 1,000, and it's like, oh, I'm just second place. It's not not a huge deal since I'm okay with that result.
Okay.
So again, nothing to do with my hand, but this was the turn when it happened. And then turn 8. I just sumo give you this form on. I did not want to. I did not want to force myself to Ricci and 1-2 cut anyway, so I'm not losing that much by cutting this form on. Being able to hold the safe tone is another benefit.
Okay.
Nothing special. And then turn 12. This 6-mon, I could slide, right?
Yeah.
I thought about just discarding it Tsumogiri, the 6-mon, because the 9-mon is safe against everyone pretty much.
Hmm.
But I figured maybe it's better to just not let people call. Like I have enough safe tiles anyway. So I just ended up cutting the 9-mon instead. This is another minor thing.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm gonna go to the next player. Luce.
Yeah. So turn 5. This hand I pretty much need to like reach this because otherwise I don't really get enough value. I ignored the. Oh yeah, there's also the call south and then win. South plus 1 time thing. And
Uh-huh.
since the hand is just so slow,
Yeah.
that I wanted to keep the south. And since I have had a door, I got rid of the I got rid of half of the Sanshoku, probably most of the Sanshoku. By playing 9-mon. Any comments? Otherwise, turn 8.
Oh, I'm just thinking about this one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like giving up your immediate 7-8-9 Sanshoku chance is I don't know. I want to say I don't think it's worth keeping the south over the 9-mon. But yeah, it's just kind of hard to cut everything because you're still kind of far and you do want the value, so keeping both Sanshoku 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, regardless of how far either of them are. Like, I don't even want to cut the 6-mon as a thing. Because you just might get the 6-pin and then you have better shape left over. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like I wouldn't want to lose anything, and I would just cut the non.
Yeah, and I just felt this hand was so slow that other people will be building hands that the pairing up the south constituted a very significant part of my win rate. And also the Sanshoku is just one Shanten slower than the normal hand.
Yeah, I mean, double south one Dora will get you into second.
If you Tsumo.
Tsumo, if you Tsumo, we're wrong.
Does pairing up the double non really improve the speed that much? Like the rest of the hand is still not in great shape. You don't even have any Mensu.
Well, once I can call, I can do a lot, I think.
I just feel like you're overestimating the speed increase from calling because you just have a bunch of penchons or conchons waiting on like 7 and then a 2-pin conchon around the Dora. It's like if like I feel like it would be kind of a lot to expect to be able to call most of those.
I think, well, it's equally not just kind of, but really a lot to be expected to draw most of those. But you have so much Conchan that your hand is just so much slower than most people. That I think, yes, calling will help a lot.
What does it? Sorry, why does it have to do with other people? Aren't you like comparing your hand with non and no non?
Yeah. Without none, the hand is pretty bad. And I probably can't win this. With none, the hand is still pretty bad. But at least I can call, and I do have enough value now.
What about cutting 6-mon? In 7-9.
I think the hand is just not great enough. There is another way out, which is just Richie Simura.
Hmm.
And now that I've drawn the 1-pin, I really don't want to discard the 6-1 anymore because it does just improve. I'm 2 tiles away from actually making this hand good. If I don't look at the Sanshoku, my hand is, 1 Shanten ahead than if I do look at the Sanshoku.
How is this Sanshoku lower Shanten, or I guess higher Shanten? How is the Sanshoku further away?
The Sanshoku is 7, 8, 9.
It's the same Shanten.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Shanten.
So first of all, I need the 7-mon, 7-pin, and 7-so, right?
Yeah, but you kind of need those anyway.
So once I get the 7-mon, 7-pin, and 7-so, what am I waiting on?
2-pin.
Good.
Uh,
Well,
if I'm, I guess,
there's-
yeah, it does matter. I was more thinking if I if I'm waiting on the 2-pin, then the Sanchoku is irrelevant anyway.
Huh.
It's really that giving up the Sanshoku lets you accept Forso and I guess improve the 6 mon to a Dianmen if you draw 5 mon. But that's all.
Arth, I feel like got a good amount of discussion on this one. Any closing thoughts for this part? If
I
not,
mean-
I'm gonna go to the next turn.
I would if you had to choose between 6 mon and 9 mon, I definitely want to cut the 6 mon, but I'm still in the just cut the non camp.
Yeah, I would pick 6 mon over 9 as well.
I think I personally would, but non. It's probably okay.
Non's definitely a choice. Who knows? Can walk down.
Yeah,
Sanchoku,
I mean,
but then you're cutting out element. Probably wouldn't do that.
and like, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Luce, do you have a question?
Yeah, this one's not a question, but turn 8 is at this point I feel like I should probably just cut the non here. This is just I cut this without thinking because normally I keep the non just to be a little safe. But this is South 4, and I'm in 3rd place with this point difference.
Not completely irrelevant, because I mean, if this is a long lead, you still don't want to be randomly dealing it, right? 8
Yeah.
points will be still 8 points.
Or even like 12 if you deal into dealer and then you're in a more dangerous South 4 next Kyoku. Like keeping safe tiles is definitely still a consideration.
I don't know. I'd still cut this South.
So you don't like this cut?
No.
Oh.
What is wrong with this cut, in your opinion?
Well, I'm increasingly unlikely to get another South. And the hand in general is still bad enough that I need any improvements that I can get.
Does 5 so really help with improvements?
Yes, 4 so is an improvement. 6 so is an improvement. That's not a lot, but it's still worth a lot to this hand because it's so bad.
So before you were talking about like how much you valued getting the South and being able to call and how it will let you meet your conditions to get at least second. Is that not a factor here?
I don't think it's bigger than just trying to get something now. What was it? I
Restore
still have
Aurora.
to get the South, which at this turn just is increasingly unlikely. Someone else might just have it. I still have to call the South. And we're hoping to just
Sorry, go ahead.
go for the tile efficiency now.
Like, is even drawing Forso really that much of an improvement at this point?
I think it's pretty big. The hand is just complete crap.
If you cut non this turn and then draw 4 so next turn, what do you cut?
Nine.
Why?
Well, I don't know. 8.
Hard to
Would
say. Let's see. Or I don't know. Me, I'd probably cut 8 mon.
I would probably do the same. The point I'm trying to bring up though is that it just seems really inconsistent with keeping the non earlier and then not wanting to keep it now, where for this hand I would definitely want to keep the non, because if you paired it up it'd be like, okay, maybe I have a chance now. But with the current shape, even if you draw 4 so and improve it, it's like, ugh, I I guess you're looking for the Sanshoku, but like you probably could have just done that before. Like the 5 so doesn't add enough for me to want to cut the non for it. Whereas before, like 6 mon, 9 mon, I would want to keep them both alive, and therefore I would cut the non.
Hmm. I mean, ultimately, um, I feel like I'm being I'm still pretty consistent because the driving factor of both of these calls is the underlying tile efficiency.
Okay.
And then, not much. Turn 13. Turn 13. I think the dealer plays something, and I call it on this go around. No? Okay. Well,
Pecha. Or yeah, seems just Pecha. Whoa.
I don't even know what this note is for then.
Could it have been like the going back to 6 blocks?
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, the note I have a note here just saying going for K10 above actually trying to make something with this hand.
Oh.
But I guess I don't remember what I was thinking when I wrote the notes, so there, that's it.
If you, I'm gonna go on, and then if you remember, we'll come back.
Yeah.
All right, Simon.
I think turn 4.
Okay.
Probably should have just cut 1 so first.
Yeah, you already have enough blocks.
Yeah.
All right.
And then my next note is turn 9. Wasn't really sure how to pick this. I don't think there's a huge difference.
What are the options?
There's. I mean, I think it's probably cutting the Manzu, one of the Manzu.
Which ones? Can you cut any of them, or
I think you can cut 3 or 7 mon. It's
Okay,
probably better.
that's the answer I was looking for?
Yeah, you can't cut 5 mon. I didn't know how to pick. I think I just sort of picked something random.
Oh, I think it's
Oh. I think I Tadashi'd is what I did.
why?
I don't know. I wasn't sure how to pick this and like how to make this decision.
See, I have some reasons as to why I would pick one side or over the other. Does anyone else want to go first though?
All right. Votes are coming. Make your vote. Press 1 for 3 mon. Press 2 for 7 mon. And press leave if it's anything else.
Press leave. Press disconnect. What do you think, Bryant?
Probably 7 mon.
To cut?
Yeah.
I agree. The reasons I would
I guess. I mean, my Kamicha might cut it again if I win on the Concham later.
cut what?
4 mon
Again?
later.
Kamicha?
Or Shimocha, sorry. Yeah, Shimocha.
The reasons I would give are 1, 3 mon is dealer Gambutsu, so that's relevant. And 2, 4 mon is dealer Gambutsu. So if the dealer declares Ricci and you end up on like a 4 mon weight somehow, like you Anko up Pinzu and you choose the 4 mon weight for whatever reason, you can expect 4 mon to come out a little more easily.
Yeah, I think in the game I thought that. I'm remembering now.
All right.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been over a week. But I mean mainly it's just 3 mon's the dealer's Gambutsu, so if they Ricci next turn you wanna have that nice safe tile.
Yeah.
If they weren't, would you still pick that way?
If it like what if the dealer hadn't cut any Manzu?
If it's just a Hatsu Naimon and another Hatsu.
In the dealer's discards, you mean?
Yeah.
Then you'd have to check to see what other information you can get, like from the other players.
What information do you have? Do you have any?
You might. Toyman cut 1 mon and 9 mon from their hand. Early 1 mon cut means they could have 4 mon. The 9 mon came out later, but there's only one Tadashi in between. But just based on those cuts, it's slightly more likely that they have 4 mon than they have 6 mon. But Kamicha cut 2 mon and 8 mon both early. So like they might just not have 4 mon or 6 mon, or they might even cut them if they draw them. Not a huge difference really.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't improve on either side because you've already cut 1 mon and 9 mon, so it's not like you can get a Dianmin, and I mean it wouldn't be Tanyo anyway.
Right.
So yeah, if it weren't dealer Gambutsu, it'd be a little bit more difficult to choose.
Okay.
All right. Gonna go to the next player.
That's it.
All
I think
right.
that's
Thanks,
it.
everyone. You can stop sharing my screen.